were. I think
I think they were out. Evan, don't Google me Fournier.
Oh, love him.
Have you heard of the don't Google thing?
I haven't heard of that, but big Evan Fournier fan.
If you're listening, do not Google Fournier. My dad did it, and he had to leave the room.
I might do that right now.
Do it right now. I want to see Evan. Google just Fournier.
Just Fournier?
Fournier.
Fournier.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see what comes up here. Ron Fournier?
No, go to images.
Oh, God. What's about to happen? What? Why? Okay, don't Google it. He's serious. What the hell?
Blake just Googled Fournier.
Yeah, that was a mistake.
That's incredible.
That's why you don't listen to Drew.
That's so good. I'm like, Dad, do you know Evan Fournier's nickname? And he goes, no. I'm like, it's don't Google.
That's a good nickname.
And he told reporters that.
He's like, seriously,
don't Google my
name.
Don't
Google it.
Just don't do it. Just save yourself the trouble. Don't do it. But anyway, lost to the Magic.
Yeah.
And then they responded with the win last night against the Pacers. And like I said earlier, no one really wanted to win that game. Jimmy Butler had a game winner with 3.8 left on the clock.
Yeah.
And
I was watching.
They're keeping it. The nail's not in the coffin yet. But the hammer is out and the nail is hovering over
I don't know. I feel like that nail's pretty... They just haven't hit the last hit.
They haven't hit an artery yet. They have not hit an artery yet. But
they're right on the edge.
They're 2 games back. I don't want them to make the playoffs. I think moving forward makes sense.
You're going to lose to LeBron.
I mean, congratulations. You're going to meet the Cavs in the first round.
And 5 games. You might lose one. You might win that one game. But
yeah, also last night, Derrick Rose hyperextended his elbow.
Nice.
And he looked like he couldn't even use one of his arms. It was very bad.
They have a lot of injuries.
Taj has a rib contusion, which has been bothering him for a little bit. Etuan came back last night from a hammy, and he looked all right.
Any more injuries on there that you need to talk about? Or
my soul hurts, so my heart hurts.
My pinky kind of did something.
I'm pretty sure I have a broken finger, but that's besides the point. So what's next for this team?
I don't know.
A lot.
I think
of sadness.
My next step, and I don't know if you agree with me on this. I don't know if a lot of people agree with me on this. Please fire Hoiberg. Fire Hoiberg.
Blake is not a Hoiberg fan.
And hire Luke Walton.
We've reached rock bottom here.
I love Luke Walton, but we'll get to that another time.
I think the players have completely zoned Hoiberg out. They're not paying attention to him.
Seems like they've zoined.
You're struggling.
I can't. The Hoy and the... But,
and the Zoy.
I think they zoned him out a while ago, honestly. Yeah. I think Jimmy, what was it, a month into the season, 2 months into the season, was already zoning him out.
There's been a big issue right now, not listening to Hoiberg, not running a system. And I think, here's my philosophy on all this, and I want to see if you agree.
Yeah.
When you lose as an organization. You lose altogether. You're a part of a team. You lose altogether.
Yeah.
And, of course, it starts at the top. That Garpax, what in the world is happening? We're at a bar right now, so it's a little bit...
Rabbits.
We're at Rabbits. It's a little noisy. Thanks for Rabbits for hosting us.
Thanks, Rabbits.
But Garpax at the top, Hoiberg, and then the players. If those 3 facets are working together... and they're losing games, then the organization is failing. I think it's a little bit from everybody. Mm-hmm. So Garpax didn't make a move at the trade deadline. That's their fault. They don't take risks at all. That's their fault. Hoiberg, he's not good at handling personalities. It's a fact. Maybe his offense doesn't work in the NBA. The players, they're not performing up to expectations, even though they have a decent amount of talent. I mean, this is the same team that took it to the Cavs last year and made it into a series.
Yeah, almost won that series.
I mean, it's no excuse. No excuse at all for this team to be missing the postseason.
I think some guys regressed.
Nico has definitely regressed, even though his recent play has been
Nico definitely. Doug got better, but Nico whatever. That's
Tony Snell's a ghost.
That's all happened, but I don't know. Maybe it's they don't fit the system and they don't like Hoiberg's coaching style, and the fact that they didn't, like you said, the fact that they didn't do anything at the trade deadline, really came back to bite them. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like what now? Like what do you do from here? So
they're in basketball hell, dude. They're in the middle.
And those teams usually stay there for at least a little bit.
Yeah.
It's hard to get that top pick when you're stuck in that zone. And
very true.
We'll see what happens.
I mean, we'll see what happens going forward.
Yeah.
I don't think Gar and Pax are going to get fired just because Jerry Reinsdorf owns the team.
Doesn't happen. Yeah.
He just does not like to take risks, and he's very loyal, which is a good thing and a bad thing at times.
Well, then I got to ask you something else.
Yeah, ask me. Go ahead.
A lot of rumors popping up. This has been like a thing that's happened throughout the season, but now it's starting to like really come back up. And it's moving Butler in the offseason. How do you feel about it?
I'm about to have a very hot take.
Oh, God.
Get the hot take
I'm put my seatbelt on.
Ready to go. Jimmy Butler cannot lead this team.
Yes.
And I don't think he knows how to lead. He's been trying to call people out verbally. That hasn't worked. Mm-hmm. Should have played through injury. That hasn't worked. I don't think he's fit for it. I don't think that he's a leader. He's a good two guy.
Yeah.
And I think if someone offers up Jimmy Butler, or if someone offers 2 first-round picks for Jimmy Butler and a player, you take that deal. Because moving forward, look at this team. Everyone's frustrated. They're not performing up to expectation. I think it's just time.
Yeah.
I would move Jimmy if given the right offer. If not, hold on to him. You can move him at the deadline.
He'll be a very valuable trade asset.
Absolutely. He's an all-star player.
I mean, there's not a lot of teams that I feel like would, if they were presenting an offer with Jimmy in it, I feel like a lot of teams would get on that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Looking at the Kings.
Yep, looking at you, Kangs.
Looking at you, Kangs.
But,
Boogie.
I mean, we'll see what happens in the offseason. It could be just like a huge explosion of everything going on. Maybe people get fired.
I kind of want to see it blown up.
I mean, I do too, personally. I think it's just time. You have 7 years, basically, with this core group here, and the farthest they've gone is an Eastern Conference final. Yeah. You didn't make the finals. I think it's
good teams. They had
good teams, but not great teams.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. They're too loyal, and they're holding on to these players like they're prize trophies or something. They don't just want to, but maybe they might be this person's favorite player. Who cares? It's a business.
Yeah.
You have to make the best move for your team moving forward.
I will say, I'm sure they would have moved Derek by now if it was possible.
Yep, the contract's too big. But
that's in one player I think they were still would have liked to move a while back.
Very true. All right, let's move on to happier things. You like happy things?
I love happy things.
Okay, good. Well, the Cubs.
Sunflowers.
Opening day is 5 days away.
That's insane.
I'm
giddy.
I'm very excited.
We're
so close. A lot of things have been happening with the Cubs recently, including roster cuts and solidifying the rotation. The rotation has been set, as we all probably expected. It's Arrieta, Lester, Lackey, Hamill, and Hendricks.
Not bad.
And the 25-man roster has been set. Javier Baez is on the DL to start the season with a jammed thumb. That's not right yet, so it's probably good to keep him on the 15-day DL.
Yeah.
And it's retroactive to a certain date, so he'll be back relatively soon.
Yep.
You have guys like Matt Caesar making a team.
Really happy about that.
Mr. Ramirez, who, I'm a big fan of if his velocity stays up.
Yeah.
So, initial thoughts on the roster. Our new poster child of Sosassteamroom, Kawasaki, did not make the roster.
Unfortunately.
But he'll be up.
He'll definitely be up. And Madden said that, too, himself. He said, at some point he'll come up and help the club.
And he's going to be the most popular athlete.
I will have a lot of fun with him when he is up. But right now, I think they made the right choice.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
I really like Caesar. I think he's going to be a really good bench guy. I think he'll do a lot of good things. Has some power.
Yeah, I like Caesar is that other outfielder out there until Baez comes back.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you have a plethora of outfielders now.
So
Schwarber, he's catching, but he's also in the outfield majority of the time.
Yeah, and how do you feel about Schwarber and
the
Hamill?
Schwarber-Hamill connection?
Yeah.
It's going to be a process. It's going to take a little bit of kind of chemistry to come together.
Yeah.
It could hurt my head a little bit at the beginning of the season.
I am actually been impressed with Schwarber at catcher this spring, at least. I think he's surprised some people with his defensive abilities, but I mean, still work in progress.
Absolutely. We'll see what happens with that. I'm excited to see Schwarber catch as long as he's playing every day.
And I feel like when he catches, that lineup, you can fill in whoever, wherever, and it will be amazing. So
I want to talk about the bees.
Yeah. I like this stuff.
I want to talk about all the antics that have been going on. So Jason Hayward got swarmed by a bunch of bees on Easter.
Yeah.
Then
hit a home run.
Then hit a home. Gave him superpowers. He's
B-man. He's B-man.
He is the king bee.
He's the buzzer.
The stinger?
The stinger. There, that's the one.
It's J-Hay, probably. No new nicknames. Do you have any bee stories about when you've gotten stung by a bee or anything like that? Because I have one.
I don't know. I got stung one time, and it was painful.
Yeah?
That's my story.
I have a story. So I was up in the North Woods at a camp that I used to go to as a camper, and we were walking along this trail, and in front of me there was the counselor was walking ahead, and he stepped on something. Yeah. And all of a sudden you can see this black cloud, look like a dust, come up from the ground, and just attack him, everywhere. And I thought it was it's like dust, and I'm like, those are hornets. This dude got stung by hornets 20 or 30 sometimes.
Ouch.
And took the hit. He's standing on the side of the trail, just arms open, spread out, just I'll cover you. And kids are just walking around. He's a hero. I won't say his name, but Mr. Tracy. I will say his last name. But Mr. Tracy.
Shout out to Mr. Tracy.
And he just took
protecting the children
30
of America.
bee stings to the chest, and the rest of the day he was just so sick.
Yeah,
there's so many toxins in his body.
I took one of those. Well, I took one from a bee, and I think I was done for that day. That was it. That was early in the morning. So shout out to that guy.
Shout out to Mr. Tracy.
Shout out to the stinger.
Also, there were some adorable bear cubs at Cubs camp. Did you see that?
I didn't see this. What?
There were little baby bears. They brought in baby bears to Cubs camp, and
That's amazing.
Rizzo was holding them, and it was another Madden thing. I can't believe I haven't seen this.
I can't believe I haven't seen it either.
Look it up after.
Yeah, I'll look it up.
It's adorable. They're just these two baby bears crawling around.
Yeah.
And they're just so cute. They're 6 weeks old.
That sounds amazing.
All right. Well, besides all the gimmicks, all that stuff's amazing, and I love Joe Madden for it so much. But the Cubs signed Victorino, Parra, and Kawasaki to those minor league deals.
Expected.
Yep, as expected. They released them for a bit, re-signed them right away.
Re-signed them, yeah.
And I want to hear your thoughts on this shark thing.
Are you talking about
Jeff Samardzija?
He's sick of the rebuild?
Yeah,
stuff?
How he was sick of the rebuild.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I want to hear what you have to say.
Okay.
First, Ken. I haven't really.
This kind of pissed me off.
Yeah.
I got really fired up about this when I heard Jeff Samardzija's comment. I'm like, there's no use for that, first of all. Just shut your mouth and go play.
Yeah.
Second of all, the Cubs offered you more money on that deal than the Giants did this year for your contract. Mm-hmm. So you can shut up.
Yeah.
And look at the results of the past year. The rebuild is complete, buddy. Yeah. You can just shut your mouth. So I was pretty angry about that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm maybe not as heated as you are right now.
I'm heated.
When you're stuck in that position, sometimes you might not see an end to it. He probably was thinking, we're going to be here for another 2-3 years. Yeah, I don't know. I guess
Blake is very so about this.
I'm kind of so.
I'm fired up.
You're pretty heated.
I'm hot. I'm sweating.
All I know is I'm kind of glad. Well, I don't know if glad's the right word, but I think he has a lot of issues.